So I was thinking that we could do a Wim Hof session this morning, just to do a little bit of breathing. And there is a really special breathing technique that I'd also like to show you. It's called the breath of fire. So let's do Wim Hof really quick. What I would recommend is that you grab an oil that you want to use, one that you feel connected to. Let me look and see which. I've been using a lot of cypress, and I know that it's for movement and for moving energy. It smells like Christmas to me. So I'm going to suggest you take a couple drops in your hands. And I like to keep my feet planted, and I'm going to rub my hands vigorously. And the reason we do this is it gathers your energy back to your body, keeps you in the present. Can't worry about the past, can't worry about the future. You're right here, right now. And then we're going to take a deep breath in. Okay. So let me share my screen, and I will pull up. Let me go to YouTube. I just love that Wim Hof.
Experts and entrepreneurs thinking of writing a book to grow your business and your reach? Well,
number 3, back into that rhythm. Breathe in, breathe.
Okay, so when I start it, you can take your video off if you want, or mute yourself because you'll be breathing. It's basically what it is. It's a full breath in and a full breath out. You don't want to pause at the top or the bottom of your breath, and you just continue on for 30 breaths. And then at the end, after you exhale everything, you're going to hold your breath for 30 seconds. So I'll start the video. We'll just do 2 rounds.
Hi guys, welcome. This is a guided breathing session. Relax to the deepest. Lie down, sit down, whatever it takes. Relax. Are you ready? Here we go. Round number 1. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just go with the flow of the breath. In, out. In, out. In, in, out. Into the belly, into the chest, and let go. Like a wave. Make it circular. Fully in and letting go. Just keep on going. No pause between inhalation and exhalation. Ten more. Fully in, let it go. Five more. Let's give it all we got. Last one. Fully in and let go. All right. 30 seconds breath hold from now on. Be in this moment. Let the body do what the body is capable of doing. Be aware of your heartbeat. Slow it down and just be in this moment. Okay, recovery breath in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in and hold for 15 seconds. Exhale in 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Round number 2. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Into the belly, into the chest, and let go. Like a wave. Make it circular. Fully in and letting go. Just keep on going. No pause between inhalation and exhalation. Ten more. Fully in, let it go. Nice, deep, circular breaths. Five more. Let's give it all we got. Last one. Fully in. And on the exhale, stop. 1 minute, breath hold from now on. Feel, become aware of your body. If your hands and feet are tingling, or you feel your body temperature is changing, that's okay. You're doing fantastic. If you need to breathe before I give the cue, that's okay. You are almost there. Do you want to prolong your breath hold? Pause the video now and continue when you feel the urge to breathe. When you're ready, fully in and hold for 15 seconds. Exhale in 3, 2, 1. Let it go.
How was that, guys?
That was great.
Feel like a good tool for your toolbox?
Yeah, I feel like it helps with mental clarity really quickly.
And I love the guy's voice. He's great. Love a good Danish man. I had another technique I wanted to share. Oh, I feel my diaphragm's open. My voice is all like not all high and squeaky. Hey, Lisa. I wanted to show you something I'm going to be working on, and Lisa would probably have good suggestions for it. I did a grounding breathing session with a mutual friend of ours. Her name's Dusty, and she taught breath of fire and the Kabali is it Kabali breathing? Is that how you say it?
Kapalabhati.
Kabali Said it.
Kapalabhati. It is with an I on the end, sorry.
There you go. Yeah, Kabali. And it's basically where you're exhaling. Let me show my stomach. If you put your finger on your belly button, we're going to be using our inhale, just a soft inhale, and an exhale forcefully. And you're bringing the belly button to the spine. And the breath of fire breathing is where you're doing it rapidly. So most of your energy is using to push out with the belly button going toward the spine, and you're going to do it through your nose. Did I say it? Anything weird that you want to add? Lisa? I said it right. Okay. So, and what's interesting about it is with that exhale, you can kind of feel that you're creating like a pressure can between the diaphragm of your throat and the diaphragm of your pelvic floor. So we kind of want to bring it up. It's called a bunda, right, Lisa? Where you're kind of like bringing up the pelvic floor in the exhale.
Yeah, but you don't want to get obsessed about the pelvic floor. It'd be better to come directly from the navel and belly area. The
not until
pelvic floor, yeah, you don't want to tighten up the pelvic floor to do this one. Ideally, you would, there's two versions of this kind of breathing. One of them is done through the throat, and one of them is done from the belly and the chest. So, yeah, the breath of fire is also called shining skull. And you want to just connect to the belly, and the exhale is expunged from the belly. The inhale is the relaxation response. The exhale is the belly contracting. And pelvic floor does not have to be involved with this. When I talk about pelvic floor, I'm talking about from underneath, what people might construe as Kegels. Don't do those. That is not necessary.
So what I've been taught is that when you hold the breath at the top, that's when you would want to bunda. So it wouldn't necessarily be till the end, or not at all.
Yeah, I mean, to connect the bandhas to this, you need to practice the breath first and then work on the bandhas.
Okay,
So yeah, don't work on the bandhas right away. It's not necessary. It just creates more havoc in the pelvic floor for everybody. That's the research that's out there now.
really appreciate
And-
that.
And it's literally, and I'm not wearing all my underwear. And so it's not easy to see what I'm doing, but I'm expelling my exhalations and pushing my belly in. I'm not pushing it with my hands, but I'm contracting that belly with my hands. You want that pelvic floor to be free, that underneath from the urinary tract and the vaginal area and the anus, you want that to have freedom. I mean, if you have to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom. But the belly is the only thing contracting. Right? So that exhale is coming directly from under the diaphragm and from that belly area. That diaphragm is being pushed up, it's being pushed up to expel the air that's in the lungs.
How exciting. Thank you. So Lisa, I mean, obviously she's a yoga teacher.
And that's why I went on and on.
And she's been studying pelvic floor health and releasing all of the scar tissue involved from like just being a woman and a man and trauma and gray areas from, religious layers put on us. And it's very interesting. Obviously I love smart people. So she's one of my smart people. Okay, so this is what I'm suggesting we do. And you can follow along or you can just watch. I'm gonna take the Supermint. You could use Digestin, any oil that's feeling supportive to your digestion right now, your belly area. Because this is what I noticed when I've done this breathing before with other people for other reasons, but doing it the other day, it felt like it was going to help me heal my stomach. And there's, we know that there's 3 parts of our emotional connection. It's with the brain, it's with the heart, and it's with the stomach. So it feels pertinent to share with you guys today. And it's something that I want to start adding to my morning routine for clearing my energy and also connecting to my emotional stomach, my gut feeling, my intuition. So I'm going to take my Supermint and I'm rolling it all the way around my belly button. And I'm going to rub it in. Can be any oil you're choosing. I'm just choosing to kind of go the digestive route. So with this breathing, you can put your hand over your stomach, or if you want to kind of make it a little harder, is you put your arms out in a Y, and you're going to bring your fingertips into your palm and your thumb out. And your shoulders are going to be down your spine. Don't keep them up here like this. And I'm going to set a timer on my phone. We'll just do 1 minute. Let's see, timer, 1 minute. And you're going to do the breathing. So you're going to exhale, bringing your belly button to your spine as fast as you can in the rapid, so that you can get the feeling your contraction, the stomach coming into the spine. Okay, ready, set, go. And what you can do is keep your eyes closed as you're doing it, and bring your attention to your third eye. It might turn a color. For me, it tends to turn red, but traditionally this would be, I think, indigo or blue, right? So it can be a really good energetic clearer. And for me, it feels supportive for healing my stomach.
You can also get very lightheaded from this. If you were doing it and halfway through you got lightheaded, that's pretty normal, but take your time. Be sensitive to what your needs are.
Thank you. And don't do it driving. I just love sharing little things that I learn. And, we have these, like, breathing is free. You can do that anytime, just, in a safe way at home, and be aware of what you're feeling and using the oils so that you can help kind of like set an intention. And it's like you're setting free these molecules in your body that are going to go do a bunch of things. So it feels to me like a really great way to like ground your body and also work on healing yourself. It'd be a good time to like journal after that. Like, what is my experience right now? I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. If you'd like to share on this experience, or if you have something that you brought that's on your heart or your mind or your belly that needs to be shared. So I like to do, I forget what it's called. Lisa Ann might remember, but when you open a book to a random page, There's power in that and trusting the information that you needed to just come to you. I think it's called Biblio something. It's where you just pick a random page and you see what comes up. So I like doing that. So I just picked, this is a really cute book. It's a mindfulness book. It's called A Moment for Me. And I opened Trusting Sitting. Sitting both requires and develops trust. At first, it might seem that the trust is in a process of calming down so that the intensity of the emotion can dissolve or fade. And sometimes that's true. Staying with an emotion, perceiving it objectively with a stability of mind, can sometimes take the bite out of it. But that's not the real liberation, because sometimes those swelling emotional waves are huge and stay huge. They're part of our human experience, and no amount of meditation is going to stop us from being human. Ultimately, the trust in staying with our experience is a different kind of dissolution. It is not just the emotion that dissolves. What dissolves is the delusion that the things we use to avoid strong feelings will produce anything other than momentary relief. So it's interesting that that page came up. That's all I wanted to share.
Thank you, Kim, for this space. I always appreciate it. I'm just so funny. I kind of decided to take the day off, but nobody doesn't know it since I work from home. But I feel like a lot of things are starting to work out, but the load of everything that I've been dealing with is all coming. And I'm like, I'm excited about this time. So I'm like, yay, finally all this stuff I've been working on is happening. But now my body is kind of shutting down. Everything is shutting down. So I'm just I'm gonna take like the week of November 7th. I'm gonna take that week off. There's a conference that I was gonna go to. So I'm gonna just take that week off. But I feel kind of like, I don't know, I guess you can call it relieved, but I thought I would feel relieved, but I kind of feel interesting. Like my husband, some of you know, I moved to Atlanta and my husband has been coming for the weekends for 2.5 months, but he started his job today. So he and my oldest son moved in this weekend. So now we're all together again. And my husband is a lot lighter. He seems really excited to be back in his native Atlanta. But I just feel kind of like, I don't even know if I'm coming or going, but I'm just glad for this space. Because honestly, I didn't feel like doing the breathing activity. Like, I don't even feel like doing anything. I just wanted to come and be present. And I'm glad I came. So thank you, Kim.
Welcome, Shannon. I wonder, would you like me to go through the emotion process?
That would be amazing. And it's so funny because I bought like all this stuff to this office that we have here to work. And I've just been, I don't have any of my oils. I'm just sitting. But I would love for you to go through that. That would be amazing to finish out our call today.
Well, we can start with an oil.
Okay.
We can start with the emotion, or we can start with a body sensitivity. So it sounded like you weren't quite landing on an emotion. So maybe one of the other.
The body would be good because it's just so much tension. The main part of the tension is in like my upper, I don't know if this is called a trapeze or my upper back, but right here is where most of the tension has been. Oh, you can't really see me. Like right here is where, for weeks, the last couple of weeks, it's almost becoming unbearable. And I did get in the pool, in the whirlpool, and that really helped a lot. Is that like the upper back?
Well, it'd be like your trapezoids.
Yes. Okay.
I'm wondering if they have that in the physical, if I look up traps, if that'll be there. Sometimes I'm not sure what they'll have. So we'll see. Let me go to traps. Is it both sides?
Yes.
Might not be as specific as that. Let's see. Tight shoulders. Does that seem,
Yes, because it's more shoulder than it is upper back.
okay? It says, do you have your book nearby, or I could just read it to you if you like?
I would love for you to read it. Thank you.
Okay, it says center of self-acceptance and self-value, ability to control your life. And the adjectives are humiliated, overwhelmed, shameful, unworthy, and powerless.
That's pretty much on point.
And the look deeper question is, am I rejecting myself? Do I accept my intrinsic worth and value? Oh, shoot, I
really
just read thyroid.
Oh, I guess I might have thyroid issues too. 'Cause that sure enough sounded, I mean, yeah, that definitely
That was-
sounded spot on. That's hilarious.
That's funny. Okay, wait, let me read tight shoulders and we might need to go back to thyroid. Maybe that was why my eyes caught the top one. Have you had thyroid issues?
Probably about 18 years ago.
Interesting. Okay, I don't know. I mean, we've got Dina on here. She might have ideas on that. Tight shoulders is lack of freedom in life. Stuck, violated, overworked.
Well, that's even better.
Okay, but
Yes.
one or more of those?
Yes.
Was it stuck, violated, overworked?
Overworked.
Overworked.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me follow that.
Sharon, did you complete a move? You were moving and trying to get settled also, weren't you?
Yeah, I moved to Atlanta about 2.5 months ago.
And that's a good reason to rest. I'm just putting it out there.
Mhm. Thank you.
Her name's Shannon. Overworked. There's overwhelmed.
I'm reading itty bitty letters. Didn't put my
Oh.
glasses on.
I think one time when I was looking at the book, I looked up workaholic and I didn't know if that was the same as overworked.
It just told me to go to workaholic.
Okay.
Okay. It says wild orange, lang lang, tangerine, basil, past tense, cedarwood, and northern escape. Did your brain pick up one or more?
I'm between tangerine and wild orange. Based on you reading those. Could you read them one more time?
Wild orange, lang lang, tangerine, basil, past tense, cedarwood, and northern escape.
I think tangerine would be good.
Okay. And the look deeper question is, am I running away from something that I do not want to confront? What will it take for me to recognize what is off balance in my life? Am I using my work to escape pain?
Okay.
And then the speak aloud would be, I am now ready and willing to see the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to do tangerine, you would breathe that in
Mm-hmm.
and say that out loud.
That sounds great. Yeah, that's amazing.
I can take a picture of it and send it to you. So you have
Thank
it, or
you.
you have it, right? Or I could just do it.
I could do it. I have it on my phone, so I can go to the Essential Emotions app and look up tangerine.
Okay, I'll text it to you.
Okay, but thank you so much because I actually looked that up. I think I looked that up at least a week ago, workaholic, and I looked at it, but I never applied the oils. I never took the time to apply the oils, but it was on my mind to say, how am I feeling? Let me look at the oils. So I'm glad you reminded me.
Yeah, I think the look deeper question might be interesting. to seriously answer. You know, it's because it kind of sounded like there was some conversations that weren't being had
Mm.
between you and your husband.
Mhm.
So, thank you for sharing so that we can learn along with you.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies, for being here.
Yeah. So I'd love to, how are you guys doing there? We've got Iva, Eva, and Lisa. Any thoughts rolling in your head you'd like to share?
I've been just figuring out how to transition into fall, winter, because it's really hard to keep the circulation going to my feet and my hands. And so I'm preoccupied with that. And yeah, it's like it's continuous how condensing the cold weather is. And I mean, it's not bad right now. It's about 50 degrees, but it's hard to keep it really warm, keeping it above 65, and I definitely need that. So I'm constantly going, I could drive down the hill and get away, because it was really windy and cold on Saturday. It was not it was a true fall day, and that fall day up in Big Bear they made snow at one of the snow play places last night. That's how
Wow.
cold it is. So it's like, not ready. But I'm working it.
What emotion are you feeling when you're worried about the cold? When you're like, 'cause
Constriction, just not being able to be expansive and wanting to retreat. So retreat would probably be the word, or
makes you
like
feel
behind. I think the other thing would be like behind, retarded in a way that's like wanting to just retreat back and not have to confront anything.
Hmm. Let me put retreat.
And I should pull the book out. I haven't pulled the book out this week. But the Supermint felt good.
Yeah, I really like how that's that's feeling on my stomach. Do you agree?
I know that breathing we did, that does help, but it's like I have to do it every couple of hours. It's like I can't forget about it.
Yeah. I don't see retreat in here.
Rest. What's the other one that would be good? So where did I put all these?
Well, what you were saying, it makes you feel like it stunts you, like it holds you back, or
Yeah, because I think the other thing is that when things compress and condense, there's a certain amount of physical discomfort throughout the body. And so it's uncomfortable. I think that's probably one of the ones, is it's uncomfortable. Motion and flow. Because there's lack of motion and flow, and I had been putting cypress into the machine, mixing it with a couple of other things. So cypress is something I've been going back to also.
well, maybe we should start with the oil then.
Yeah, seems like motion and flow, cypress, unfold naturally.
Is that what it's
Allow my life.
Ooh, cypress, motion and flow. This powerful
Trusting.
creates
Go ahead.
energetic flow and emotional catharsis. Stagnant energies are brought into motion through the fluid energy of this oil. Cypress works in the heart and mind, creating flexibility. Cypress teaches the soul how to let go of the past by moving with the flow of life. This oil is especially indicated for individuals who are mentally or emotionally stuck, stiff, rigid, tense, over-striving, or have perfectionistic tendencies. This hard driving stems from fear and the need to control. The individual tries to force things in life rather than allowing them to unfold naturally. Well, I know you've been trying to move to where it's warmer for a while, and so I'm just wondering what word we could look up. Well, let's see. Controlling, fearful, perfectionistic, rigid, stuck, tense. Any of those?
Yeah, that tense. The
Tense?
other one I've been using is actually Sunny Citrus. So I'm like trying to enjoy not wanting to unfold.
They're like, it'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
Okay. The T. Okay, tense. Aroma touch, past tense,
Yep.
cypress, lavender, clary calm, serenity, hinoki, vanilla, and midnight forest.
Oh, I'll have to smell Midnight Forest. But definitely I've been using Serenity on my feet at night and Cypress. And the citruses seem to actually just help. If I just put those citruses up, it's like, oh yeah, because that's tropical. Most of those citruses are really tropical and they feel, especially the ones that are blended together, they feel like it's not as bad as I'm making it out to be.
I like that. Okay, so in tense, it says, what am I protecting myself from? What will it take for me to process the harm I experienced in the past?
Tense. Let me look at that. Let me pull that one up.
Well, last winter was very cold, so I know you're like, oh, no, I don't want to do
I have not been ready for winters for about 3 years. I used to be like, oh, winter's coming. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And now I'm like, ugh, do we have to? Do we have to do this again? I feel like Persephone. I'm like going, no, I don't want to go to the underworld.
So what emotion would you rather have that we can look for?
Enjoyment.
Enjoyment.
And that definitely is the citrus, and I'll pull that.
Look an E.
Even citrus bliss. That one is the other one.
Enlightened.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. My eye just caught escapism.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
Well, and it's funny to actually get Persephone, the she went underground in the fall, and that's why all the flowers would go away. And so, when I've always been attracted to the myths, and so that's like perfect. It actually, and putting on the citrus bliss and smelling it, I'm actually getting this sensation of warmth across my face,
Oh, good.
which may also have to do with I get to talk to somebody about my emotions, and that's like really helpful.
That feels supportive.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to know for our friends in the cold weather, like citrus oils. So you don't feel so lonely.
Exactly. Well, and it's enjoyable. And playfulness. I choose playfulness. Child. The glasses. Can't see this.
Having those cards are really nice. Have you guys seen those on the Essential Emotions website? Here, can you guys see Lisa? Let me pin her. So they
And Childlike, carefree, spontaneous. What's this other word? Happy. I think that's happy. Some of these prescriptions on the edge here, they look like a doctor's scribble for a prescription.
I was gonna grab me a little guide that maybe that would help. So I've got this, this is Carla McClellan's, let me pin myself here. Add pin. It's the Dynamic Emotional Integration Workbook. And I tend to thumb through it when I'm trying to figure out an action step for an emotion, you know? Like it's all fine and dandy, like we figure out what we're feeling, but like, what do you do with it? So what am I gonna do now? So it's nice to be able to look at it and go, okay, so if I'm feeling, you know, like what you're talking about, that contracted, stunted, feeling where it stops you from moving forward and being open and receiving. But what you're wanting to look for is more in the happy family, the contentment and the joy. So let me look and see. The happiness family helps you look around at yourself or toward the future with hope, satisfaction, and delight. So do you think it feels more like you're living in the fear family right now? Or sadness family?
You know, it's there's a certain amount of delight that's going on. So whatever that, because it vacillates between, this is delightful that I'm able to create space and time to listen to things, to talk to people. That's delightful. To teach classes, that's delightful. And I guess what it is when I become physically weary, that is the thing that's like, that's the contraction, is the physical weariness that pops up and crops up. And like before, the thing that I had just gone for a fairly good walk on flat surface, but my hip is really bothering me. So I put a bunch of castor oil. That's what I was trying to do when you were starting. I put a bunch of castor oil on my groin and down into the hip flexor because it's really, really contracted. So that's covered with plastic, and I'm gonna do that for the rest of the day and wear that. And the constriction is coming from that place in the body, in the hips. Just feeling like, oh, this is constricted. It's not moving freely. So, and hips are creativity and all of that stuff. I know that hips and the attachment to the legs locomotes us and moves us forward. So I am looking at it as constrictions are, where in my body are they actually, like, am I being held up? And that is one of the places right now.
Yeah.
And that's, and it's not, to me, it's not saddening. It's just part of the journey. So I'm not going to say that I'm sad, though talking about it, I can feel that very little tiny lump in the throat there.
I'm hearing frustration.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because I know the feeling of physical pain, and then it kind of takes over your brain because now you have to take care of your body, and it stunts your creativity.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense hearing it that way. Lots of sense.
So I'm looking at frustrated in the Essential Emotions book.
Mm-hmm.
He asked a
Where
question.
did I put that?
Let's see. Shannon was answering the question there. Okay. So for frustrated, it says geranium, cardamom, neroli, and Roman chamomile.
That sounds right.
It sounds like a roller, a really nice roller, actually. Those all
Yeah.
of them. I would
Oh,
do
you have,
I would do 10 drops of each.
yeah.
I'm gonna make this blend today. I'm gonna make a frustration blend.
It's probably going to pop up a lot because we're going into the season where our relatives are going to frustrate us. You know, and this is like that 3 months. I'm always, one of the things that comes back to me every year is these are the last 3 months that my mother carried me because I was born in January. So I can imagine her frustration at this time of the year because it got cold. She couldn't probably move very much because I know that she really was frustrated. I'm sure she was frustrated. She was no longer fearful about having a baby, but she was frustrated about, can I do this? So I think that's the stuff that actually sort of like percolates to the surface for me at this time of the year. Is I know that my birth is coming. And that's a funny way of looking at it, but it's something I've gone back to over the last 5 years. Oh, this is what I'm feeling. Oh, I'm feeling this. And it might actually be that mysterious stuff of what do we walk into the world with, you know, and what was going on at the time before I was actually here on this earth. So it's been interesting to go through fall and feel more and more contracted every year. You know, just like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And everywhere I go, it's not 65 degrees. It doesn't matter if I go to Northern California. Sometimes if I go down the hill, it's not 65 degrees there either. That's the only time I feel like I'm melting. I'm like, everything's flowing. There's a lot going on.
It makes me wonder why you're not in Florida, Lisa.
Because that's a swamp. There's places that are still flooded.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible. There's places that are still flooded there. And so, but you know, for me to pay attention to the weather feels very primal. And I actually enjoy paying attention to the weather because I think in our culture, when we moved and traveled, that's what we had to do anyway. We had to prep and get ready to hibernate a little bit. We had to have everything at our fingertips, or we just let it go. So I think there's a lot of things that happen in the fall and the winter that psychologically, I think people bear the brunt of, but they may not be aware of why. And I'm very aware of, oh, I need to collect. Like I gathered wood a week and a half ago. I still have more wood to gather. So there's a whole dynamic there of, I think, what happens for people as the season shifts and it gets darker earlier and stays darker longer. There's a whole dynamic that goes along with that. And it's not that I fight it, but I feel the fight inside myself of like, I don't want summer to go.
So what's interesting of what you're saying and how we orient and live in space in our body, because I know that you've been, you know, you love to dance and you've lived in your hips for your life.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that's where you express yourself, is in your pelvis. And I know for me, my primary expression is my neck and my face, like right here. Like that's where I like have expressed my life. And I'm wondering the connection between like where your center of gravity and where you've lived in your body, and how that shows up for us emotionally. Like, can you guys agree with that? Like the part of your body, like what Shanna's talking about with her shoulders, like, is that where you've been? Is that where you have the primary, as kinesthetic? Like, do you feel the most on that part of your body? like I know that like what Lisa Ann has explained to me about like when somebody close your eyes and you map your entire body, like where are there gray zones, you know? Like the like we're taught, like if you were a Catholic, like so maybe there wouldn't be like it'd be like a Ken Barbie doll, there wouldn't be any parts. You know, like is there a part of your leg that isn't there in your mapping in your brain? Like, so I'm just thinking about that, like where in your body do you live the most? So I know that my bubble is right about right here, and I know Lisa's bubble is more right here. Like, where's your bubble on your body? It's called a kinesphere. And you might play with your kinesphere also. And I think as I'm saying it, I'm realizing that it's like a channel from God telling me, like, Kim, play with your kinesphere today. So I'm gonna make my bubble bigger, and it's not necessarily gonna go up here. It's gonna go a little bit lower so that I can include more of my abdominal muscles and my spine. And I can kind of live from here instead of like, hey guys, hey, how's it going? You know, like maybe, you know, like Shannon, you're kind of like, that's how you show up is you're in here, you know, like maybe your bubble is right here. I don't know. It's just a thought that I'm throwing out there that you might play with. So like how they taught us in, because I went to the Rolf Institute and they teach people about movement patterns is, because my old pattern is I used to walk with my head down. And so they would say my bubble was down here. And people can energetically feel your bubble coming. Like, you know, when someone's coming and you look behind you and then they're there. So what I would do when I'm like in an airport or somewhere really busy, I would make my head go up and I would think about projecting my bubble bigger in front of me, and people would move out of my way because they felt my energetic bubble coming. They go, oh, and so then I wouldn't like have to wait. Like if I kept myself small, like, you know, like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm in your way, then they'd be like, get closer, you know? So anyway, that's how I'm trying to help explain what I'm talking about. So does that support anyone's today? Anyone's body and emotions?
Yes.
Do you have time for another one?
Sure.
I've been feeling this like tension here because I've been somewhat procrastinating, dealing with my sister's, trying to tie up my sister's trust. She passed away about a year ago from complications of COVID and like long COVID in Michigan. And it's probably a certain amount of grief. I know the procrastination has to do with sort of emotional stress too around, like it reminds me of some pretty hard times about in the last year or so, or two. So I guess it's the emotions to deal with and to get some insight about which oils might be helpful.
I'm hearing that you're avoiding.
Mhm.
Does that seem correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Let me see. And you feel it in your chest.
Yeah, censure.
I'm sorry to hear about your sister.
Thank you.
Give me a second to find this. Avoiding. Okay. So I'm going to list the oils and then just let your mind, like the one that your mind holds on to, that's the right one. Okay.
Okay.
Deep blue, vetiver, helichrysum, balance, juniper berry, jasmine, turmeric.
I think vetiver and I do use deep blue. Not deep blue, I mean balance. So those two popped up.
Okay. Do you have them nearby?
I don't have Betadine, I think, but I have Balance.
Okay. Do you happen to have helichrysum?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you've got the balance, okay? Um,
Well, you know, I could always, my puppy, I could always order one of those if you think they're might be really helpful.
well, let's start with the one you have, which is balance. And then this is the look deeper question. What will it take for me to confront the discomfort in my situation? What am I protecting through my avoidance? So, I mean, it sounds like you've been protecting yourself, right, from the pain and the grief. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's your own time, your own timing. And knowing when that time is, it's a grieving process. So it may be that do you feel like you're maybe judging your grieving process? Oh, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. No, I'm judging not that, but the procrastination because it's holding me up from other important things. That am sort of negative, self-judgmental emotions are holding me up also from taking care of other important things in the here and now.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna look up chest.
Okay.
Okay, it says expressing inner beauty and love, angry, anxious, grieving, panicked, sad. How can I create peace in the grief I am feeling? If my chest had a voice, what would it say?
It might say let go of, you know, I don't know exactly what, but of some of the grief, some of the procrastination, the feelings of judging about the procrastination.
If you let go, would you feel that you weren't, that you were letting go of your sister? Like that
Well, my parents have passed away, and it's only my sister and myself. So, you know, there's no other immediate family, so that's kind of sad. But I don't think I'd be letting go of her. I think I'd just be able to move forward more effectively and stop procrastinating. Not just the trust stuff, which needs to be settled like this week. The state lawyer in Michigan is pounding on me. But another big project that a personal project that's really important to me.
So this is what I want you to do. It's called a fear inventory.
I'll mute you so you can hear.
So I have one written actually for myself that I'm going to do. And because I am a queen procrastinator as well. So as from one procrastinator to another, I will share what my next action steps will be. So you need to write down what it is that will be done. And you're going to write down what about that is stopping you. And then put the solution next to it. Like, what are the next steps? Like, you need to call the lawyer and set up the appointment to meet with him. Like, what is the actual action step? Because I think when we have it in our head, it's like this list of stuff that needs to get done that's overwhelming. But if we put, why am I afraid to contact him? Oh, because I haven't printed out this paper that needs to be signed. And I just haven't got around to it. Okay, so write down, I'm going to print the paper that needs to be signed or download the thing. And then I'm going to call him and make the appointment to go into the office. Like, you know, steps like that. if you want, you could do like a little like side note footer of like what was stopping you, like what was stopping me from doing that simple step, you know? And it's fear of the future. That's generally what that is. When we are raised in a environment that makes us feel like tomorrow is not guaranteed. So if you were grown up in kind of a fearful environment, you know, I'm not sure mom's going to give me a hug tomorrow, so I better get all the hugs today. I better eat my dessert first because I'm not sure I'll get dessert later. So procrastination kind of comes from that energy. Oh, they're going to leave me behind. So, you know, like it makes you feel like you're going to get left behind. So I better do everything pleasurable first and do all the hard stuff later because today's not guaranteed. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, you know. Lisa's putting up a cue card for you. So I just want you to know that tomorrow you've got today and you've got tomorrow. So just write it out what needs to be done and start taking those action steps, and it's going to make you feel better.
It does when I've been sending him emails with trust accounting and all that. And it definitely, each one I've sent like 6 or 7 so far. Because I'm a co-trustee, makes me feel better. This has been hanging over since she passed away. It's been sort of a complicated job, but still, if I finish it, we can move on.
Yeah. Well,
It's very hard to work with our ancestry, you know, and I've even had to work with somebody else's ancestry and was involved in somebody else's ancestry for 2 years. It had nothing to do with me except that I was a friend. So I know exactly that feeling of like, really? You need more?
He said, I need more data points to make the paper trail indisputable. We don't want any frivolous lawsuits from a beneficiary. Just very unpleasant stuff to me. Are there any oils that you think other oils that you think might help? You said something about helichrysum, if I'm pronouncing it right. Is that something you think might be helpful?
well, helichrysum in particular is
Helichrysum.
for opening up places that have been contracted.
Mhm.
So if you're feeling tight in your chest, it's going to help make a little bit more room. And having a little bit more room in your chest cavity means you're going to be getting more oxygen to your brain. So physiologically, like rubbing helichrysum on your chest is here, let me read this for you. I think it's going to be helpful. Let me go to H. Emotional pain. Helichrysum is an amazing healer of emotional pain. It aids the walking wounded, those with a history of difficult life circumstances, trauma, self-destruction, loss, or abuse. These individuals need the powerful spiritual support that helichrysum offers. It gives strength and endurance to the wounded soul who must keep on living despite past difficulties. This oil restores confidence in life and in the self, giving individuals strength to carry on. Helichrysum has a powerful relationship with the light of the sun. It imbues joy, fervor, and hope for the living. Helichrysum takes hurt souls by the hand, guiding them through life's difficulties. If individuals can persevere, this oil can take them into new heights of spiritual consciousness. Helichrysum offers hope that our emotional wounds can be healed. So it feels like a good one for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll be sending action your
I
way.
can report on it next week.
But you don't have to be accountable to me.
Okay.
I know that you can do it. And it's having that confidence in yourself that it's possible, and then you'll get relief. So
Thank you.
Happy you're here. Let's take a
Thank
breath
you.
for all of us. So I'm gonna put one hand on my chest and one hand on my belly, and I just want to honor that we're all here and caring and loving and listening deeply. Thank you, guys. Everyone have a beautiful day.
You too. Take care.
Stay warm.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.